are at ETSI Security Conference. My name is Anna Koren from Cybersecurity magazine, published by River Publishers. Please join me in welcoming our guest, Dr. Claire Vishik, a tech luminary, former Intel fellow. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
So we will be talking about the topic of emerging trends and future of cybersecurity. So could you share your insights on how emerging trends in this field have changed in the past 10 years?
Well, cybersecurity is a very dynamic field. The trends change and they remain the same. This is not untypical for a complex field like cybersecurity. What has emerged in the past maybe 5-6 years is pretty unique, but it certainly has its roots in the earlier history of the cybersecurity field. Take hybrid cloud, for instance. It used to be that everyone moved to cloud, either public or private, but now it's a combination because of the diversity of the attacks, the importance of having data close to the source and some other issues. Now it is important to have a combination of on-premise and cloud environment. That complicates the architecture, but this also improves security. Another trend that is not so positive as this one is everything criminal associated with cybersecurity provided as a service. This again, it's not new, but it has developed to the extent that it has become commonplace. I first heard about it maybe 15 years ago when it was a novelty. Now you can get ransomware as a service. You could get alerts as a service. You can buy these services from malicious software specifically created for your task with excellent customer support everywhere. In fact, a few years ago, a young man, an 18-year-old, was arrested in the Middle East. He provided services to for example, school children in the U.S., where when they didn't want to take a test, he, through an automated script, phoned in a bomb alert, and then there was no test. So you can see that the trends associated with moving to the cloud, providing everything as a service, incorporating artificial intelligence in security attacks, massive automation of both defenders' activities and attacker activities. They have been there before. They just have escalated significantly today. So artificial intelligence is probably the newest trend, as well as automation of a lot of things, including building threat models based on software and architecture footprint. They are going to certainly change the picture in a few more years, and this is something that I am watching very closely.
In your opinion, what technologies are especially disruptive for cybersecurity in the short term and long term?
Long term usually is very difficult to see because 10 years in technology time is something like 1,000,000 years in the evolution time. Almost anything can happen, but when we look at what is going to be disruptive for cybersecurity, several things come to mind, probably short to medium term. Those things are, at first, the new technology, or rather at this point, scientific trends, looking at new ways to do things in cybersecurity that have a potential to become disruptive. One of them that comes to mind is approximate security. Approximation has been very popular in artificial intelligence, for instance, because it usually takes very little effort to do 80% of the task, and then the effort goes to the more complicated 20% of the task, as we are attempting to save resources, cycles, and energy. Approximation in a number of areas, from artificial intelligence to biology, has become extremely popular and very helpful. In security, however, it was believed for a long time that you need to match things exactly. Security technologies are based on precision. For instance, if you look at hashing algorithms like SHA, the difference of 1 byte is detected. So in many situations, it's important to be very precise, and it's not mathematically possible not to be precise. But if you look at how this works with regard to energy consumption, for instance, in an average system, security consumes something like 40% of cycles, even though it's not visible to anyone's eye. So eliminating in situations where it's not needed those especially expensive 20% is important. And now there are cryptographic schemas and other security approaches, at least in research labs, for example, in Queen's University Belfast, that use approximation for security. So I think things like that, the use of more creative use of artificial intelligence, approximation, use of economics as a defense mechanism. Many years ago, we were discussing how economic disincentives can change the situation between the defenders and the attackers. It's difficult but not impossible to define it technically. For instance, all the spam mail used to come predominantly from China, but at some point there was a change in regulation there, and it became much more complicated to get and register a domain. Once this became reality, the number of spam domains have diminished significantly, and the volume of spam mail from that direction diminished as well. So there were discussions early on about using disruption rather than prevention to eliminate the incentive of attacking in many situations. Well, for instance, when you detect something that approximates an attack, you throttle the bandwidth so that it's difficult to do anything for the attacker, for instance. And if you look at the motivation for attackers, predominantly, not exclusively, but predominantly they are economic. Economic disincentives, when they are well defined, and when they are directly linked to technology, probably will make a significant difference in time.
And the demand for cybersecurity professionals is on the rise. How can an aspiring cybersecurity professional prepare for a career in cybersecurity? What can society do to alleviate the cybersecurity skills shortage?
Well, this is a question that everyone is struggling with, not just in cybersecurity, but in areas such as chip design and fabrication. How can we deal with it? First of all, raising the general level of expertise in cybersecurity is a good idea. No cybersecurity practically is taught in schools today, with a few exceptions. But when we conduct hacking camps for even the elementary school students. There is a lot of interest in they learn how to attack and how to protect properties. They begin to understand how it works. So in order to create a situation in cybersecurity where you start developing specialized skills from a much higher level than you do today, will probably alleviate the skill shortage. And it could also be done, because it's a practical field, in many areas, not exclusively, but predominantly. It could be done through, for instance, more creative formulation of requirements. In the US government, recently the degree requirements were eliminated for cybersecurity professionals that are working on practical tasks, because this is really a practical preparation, does not require in practice a 4-year degree. So something like that would also work. And creating cybersecurity, planting the seeds of cybersecurity into general STEM education will certainly make a difference as well. When we were talking on various committees about how to change the education system and universities to ensure more cybersecurity, most people said, you need to teach programming and security at the same time. You need to teach mechanical engineering and security at the same time. But I don't think it's realistic. Cybersecurity is very complex. It does not include only technical disciplines. What's more realistic is to implement some kind of badging or certification as you are getting your degree. In many countries at this point, for skills that are in short supply in STEM areas, there are short courses, 6 to 10 hours, that you take online, and a certain number of that creates a certification. So you have a better opportunity to get a job, and once you get a job, you have less to learn. Now, acquiring a certification early before you obtain practical skills does not appear to me like a good idea. Mm-hmm. You will memorize some things, but you will not be able to use them creatively. I would say wait until you know more.
Okay. So that goes into my next question. For young people who consider a career in cybersecurity, what advice would you offer, and what different careers are available in cybersecurity?
Well, that's an excellent question. Cybersecurity comprises a lot of things.
Yeah.
You can be a psychologist who studies reactions to cybersecurity, or you could be a privacy professional, which is connected to cybersecurity, or you could work in the area of creating regulations or conducting certifications of cybersecurity products, and a lot more. Or you could be a hardcore technologist, you could be a cryptographer, you could be a security engineer, you could be a network security engineer. All of those things require specialized skills on top of your core engineering skills. So what would I say to young people who prepare for a career in security? It's a lot of things. You don't need to be necessarily technical, but it is a technology field. So make sure that you have taken core technology classes in college or studied these classes independently, because this information will come handy. It's also a very practical field. Expertise comes with practice, so don't be afraid to start, even if you start as a junior professional, because in a few years you will become an expert, knowing your area better than anyone else.
Okay. And regarding startups or new companies, how would you recommend them? What would you advise them to incorporate cybersecurity from the ground up?
Well, I think because all startups, with a few exceptions, use systems, even if you decided to form a company that focuses on building homes or plumbing or some areas of agriculture, there will be information data documents that you will need to handle. There will be areas associated with tax, employment if you have employees. All of them require the knowledge of cybersecurity and privacy. So if you don't have this knowledge yourself, make sure it's provided by specialists that are active in those fields. But in technology startups, it has become a given that in order to be operational, you need to incorporate cybersecurity from the beginning. One of my startups is a CHIPS community that provides expertise sharing, interview training, as well as a lot of other more sophisticated services. We are going to release the first version of that in a couple of weeks. Really, a lot of cybersecurity areas are important there. You need to protect data and information, you need to protect accounts, you need to set up authentication for users, you need to incorporate secure payment systems, you need to make sure data privacy is taken into consideration. It's not a security startup, but everything we do has a security component in it, and it's true for almost every technology startup out there.
So we discussed various aspects of cybersecurity. What would you say is the key takeaway or message that you'd like to share?
An ancient Roman philosopher said the importance of the problem, it's not in its solution, it's in the strengths you acquire in looking for that solution. And I think cybersecurity is just that. So many discoveries were made, so many creative solutions came into being, sometimes not even associated with cybersecurity. In searching for this solution that will protect our assets and our users from cybersecurity threats. So this is my takeaway. It's a journey. Looking for a solution, even if we don't have a perfect solution yet, is rewarding, it's important, and it makes things better.
Okay, that's a great message.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.